everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this part of the world. I am Mahesh Vinayagam, the CEO and founder of qBotica. Today, we are here to discuss AI and automation within the specialty healthcare segment, such as DSOs, ophthalmologists, endocrinologists, hepatologists, and so on and so forth, the specialty healthcare delivery, how AI and automation is used and how it should be used. To discuss that, I have a distinguished panel of guests today with me. I have Supantha Banjeree, the COO of Technology Partners, and he has been a CIO with many healthcare organizations in the past. And I also have Javed Ali with UiPath. He's the leader for the healthcare segment within UiPath. And we have our own PK, Prashant Krishnamurthy, who is an expert in the consulting field and helping organizations adopt technology effectively. So now I would actually request each one of our guests to introduce themselves. Supantha, you may want to go first.
Thank you much I'm glad to be here with this distinguished panel. I am Supantha Banjeree, Chief Operating Officer, Technology Partners. We are in the business for more than 30 years, operating at the nexus of leadership, talent, and innovation. I'm so glad to be here to be sharing my real-life experience of automation and intelligent automation and AI with all of you.
Thank you, Supantha. Javed?
Yep, thank you, Mahesh, and thank you for having me in this panel. I am Javed Ali. I'm part of UiPath's client success team. Our main focus is basically helping our healthcare customer globally for the identification of the automation opportunity within healthcare program value chain, and also how different capabilities from UiPath can be integrated with the AI capabilities as a solutions. And I'm in this healthcare industry for last 20 years and helping different customers for those intelligent automation solutions.
Amazing, Javed. 20 years in this segment. That's amazing. You've seen a lot of transformation. Looking forward to hearing from you a lot. So now, finally, PK.
Hello, everyone. My name is PK. Pleasure to be here. I'm thrilled about talking with all of you. I'm the Chief Growth Officer at qBotica. I was with UiPath for almost 5 years, helping set up their professional services practice. Pleasure to be here, and I'm excited about the upcoming discussion and the possibilities we can help our customers with.
Fantastic. Thank you, PK, and welcome on board today's show, as well as with qBotica. You're one of our recent joining, and we are very delighted. We've done a lot in the last couple of months. You are here. All right. Okay, let's get going. See, in the healthcare segment, has been adopting technology for for a very long time, and they have been using technology effectively, whether it is giving care or providing administrative functions and so on and so forth. However, with the current advent of automation and AI technologies, there is so much advancements has happened. Suddenly, a leader in technology adoption, such as healthcare, we think it might be slightly lagging behind the other domains or other industries. Probably, is it the regulations? Is it the fear of adopting technology? Or is it because the segment is so sensitive that if things go wrong, it could actually be having a huge impact on human life? The spectrum of the impact and its benefits varies actually. So while we are at this juncture, it's great that we are having this conversation today. And at qBotica, we are focusing on the non-clinical side of the healthcare segment. We have been helping many organizations gain lots of efficiencies. For example, one of the companies that we work with, Expion Health, together with UiPath, the trio of us actually helped save significant amount of dollars for their clients through their pricing review methodologies and procedures. and we have actually increased their throughput by over 600%. Tremendous achievement. Similarly, we have been providing similar services or similar automation solutions to large organizations, healthcare organizations within the United States. And while we do that, there is a segment that we wanted to kind of really go in there, which is the mid-tier of the healthcare market. We have those big companies, the Cignas, the Aetnas on the payer side. We have these big Kaisers and the Banners and on the provider side. They're all obviously adopting technology. They have those budgets to implement, trial, and do a lot of things within the AI and automation technology world. However, the mid-tier is often at the mercy of some of these companies really adopting it and giving a type of subscription to these guys and all that. And we have seen how large software companies really monopolizing that segment. And these mid-tier organizations has always paid a lot of money or investment beyond their commensurate returns they have been investing. However, with AI and automation technology, the cost coming down in the past couple of years significantly, I would like to understand how this mid-tier healthcare segment, particularly the specialty providers like the dental services organizations, the hepatologists or the endocrinologists or the group offices, how could they adopt technology better? So with that, let me now open up to Supantha. Supantha, you have been a leader in this segment. I know we have been meeting for the last literally a decade now. And we have actually seen so much automation technology evolve over these years. What's your take on this specialty segment? How should they adopt it?
Great question. Thank you, Mahesh. From my perspective, what I have seen is over probably past few years, and especially about a year recently, because of advent of new technologies and democratization of technologies such as AI and some of the advanced analytics capabilities, I have seen tremendous amount of adoption in the healthcare field overall. Call it DSOs, call it MSO, or in any of the other service providers. And I'd like to highlight a few things that I am seeing a trend in the overall healthcare service delivery industry is, for example, for providers, I am seeing that companies are investing in figuring out how do you leverage technology to read X-ray images and recommend diagnosis, for example. That is focused on how do you add value to the providers? How do you add value to back office, RCM operations, for example? How do you leverage technologies such as AI, UiPath to automate checks and EOB's processing and help out with credentialing, for example, which is usually a measure, an important function for any healthcare service delivery providers. Now, if you really start thinking about from patient perspective, how do you leverage technologies, AI, to reduce the wait time in clinics, as well as improve the user experience when somebody is calling the call center or booking an appointment through website. And none of these businesses would do well without seamless operations, seamless flow of patients within the clinics or within the offices, whatsoever you choose to call it. So predicting no-show rate, for example, is another AI automation capabilities that the SMBs are figuring out how to leverage those type of advanced capabilities to improve not only patient experience, but also drive efficiency and effectiveness at the practices.
Perfect, Supanta. So from the time that they are scheduling the appointments to see the doctors, to which doctors see them, how are they being treated, and what's the post-care notifications, so on and so forth. So wide variety of applications there. I think while we discuss the art of the possible, I know, Javed, you have been hands down last 5 years, literally leading several automation initiatives at UiPath and with healthcare. What are those typical use cases or successful implementations have you seen, Javed?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Great question. So first of all, I would like to mention one thing here. So what I have seen in last 5 years, in 2019, we seen that the providers or these mid-segment DSOs were not. I mean, there were hesitation from automation point of view. But after COVID impact, we have seen a huge, I would say, interest for these organizations toward the automation because of the shortage of the workforce and how, I mean, the workload from the patient's queue point of view. So we have seen different types of use cases. Now, when we are looking towards this whole journey from a patient point of view, we know that there is a big queue of administrative tasks: how to onboard a patient, how to do the insurance verification, how to actually help for the physicians and the nurses to bring all the historical details about a patient, as well as how to bring the prior authorization. And I mean, whenever these type of processes, they are big I would say big administrative task, aggregation of information, bringing that information together, feeding into different forms and submitting to those insurance organizations is there. I would like to share a screen or a slide here which is having actually a bunch of use cases which we have seen. So I'm just sharing my screen. So if you see this slide here, so from a patient onboarding, so starting of onboarding a patient till the delivery of care is provided to the patient, and all those deliveries being built to insurance organization. And these are the areas which are quickly automatable, and then we have seen a bunch of interest. So if you see, insurance verification is a process where we might need to spend 3 to 5 minutes, and through automation we can quickly save up to 50% of the time there. So 1.5 minute minimum can be saved through automation there. Similarly, from a visit scheduling point of view, but wait time are there for the patient, but through automation we can identify the specific provider which is required and assign that, and quickly that scheduling can be automated. We are having referral forms, we are having queue of those referral, and the administrative team is required to actually open those form, extract that information. All those can be classified by intelligent automation through IDP, and then data can be extracted. Similarly, if we look the middle tower here, which is revenue cycle management, this is one of the main area. When you have provided the services to the patient, you need to build those services. And in this area, you can see the prior authorization is a very lengthy process where we need to identify the services, identify if authorization required, and then aggregate information to submit that authorization. So in this process we can save a very big amount of time which through which you can aggregate information, submit that authorization. So you can see against claim submission, almost 5 to 15 minutes is being saved on aggregation of information, filling the form and submitting those to the payer organization. And not only this, if you are submitting your claim as a clean, you are actually reducing your denials. And when you're reducing your denials, you are basically increasing your time of, or I would say, your revenue is coming back you sooner. So if you can see, by prior authorization and clean claims, you can reduce up to 20 days on your AR cycle. So there is specific time of AR, but if you are submitting your clean claims, you are reducing that. And similarly, the denial is one of the biggest area. So when you we have seen that in recent events, we have seen up to 56% of the Medicare claim are being denied. And the reason behind that, because your authorization was not perfect, and your claim, the claim when you submitted the information was not perfectly submitted. Through the automation, we can design those solutions which are actually submitting the clean claim, and your denials is also reducing. And similarly, that I mean, your system, your managing system, how the information can be, I mean, how those EHR, EMRs can be tested properly, because we are having quarterly, biannually release of different features. So when we are doing all those, there are automations which can help you to actually test your systems properly, and you would be reducing the cost of ownership, as well as you are reducing the time to get that into the production. And I just want to share one screen here quickly. So if you see, these are some of the aggregated information from different customers. So through automation, actually, you are able to increase the collection of your revenue up to 20%. And similarly, submission of a claim as well as your denials, through that you are reducing your cost of claim up to 35%. And your days in AR are being reduced by 2 to 3 weeks. Your denial rate of claim is again reduced by 30 to 35%. Your patient onboarding time, the queue of your patient and the wait time is reduced by 30%. Your throughput of the process are increased by 100%. So basically, through automation, as automation can work 24/7. So you are actually doing double or triple work through those automation. And through all these things, in different type of processes, we have seen an average of 40% of waste reduction. So this is something which I want to share quickly on some of the use cases and what type of the business KPIs we make.
Yes, thank you. Okay, fantastic. That was fantastic, Javed. I think there was so much data points, and across the spectrum, how we could actually save time, cost, and obviously improve the quality of healthcare overall. Fantastic. Now, actually, I want to ask a question to PK. Okay, PK, is there an incentive for the players in the healthcare system to adopt technology? Are there are there players that are not incentivized to kind of really reduce this? Because it seems obvious from what Javed just displayed that there's obviously, we are hearing about skill shortage in the healthcare industry. A cost of healthcare is going up. The time to service is actually significantly going up. And what Javed has said, that wherever they use technology, all of this is actually going down. But who is incentivized the most to implement this? You can use it from the government to the providers who are within the ecosystem, and who is not incentivized to do that. PK, over to you.
No, that's a great question, Mahesh, and great thoughts from Supantha and Javed. Right, I agree with whatever you're saying. Look, at the end of the day, I think all stakeholders in the system are thoroughly incentivized to adopt automation, AI, and other cutting edge technologies. Right? It's simple, right? If you look at it from the eyes of a patient, there are three things that a patient would like. One is enhanced patient experience, right from the time the patient checks in to the time he spends with the doctor to the post patient experience. That's one. The second is the accuracy of the diagnosis. So the doctors need the right tools and the right information available to make the right diagnosis so that the patient can be treated effectively. Third is data. Last but not the least, right? Data privacy is a big topic of concern in the healthcare industry. Whether it's specialized, generalized, whatever healthcare aspect you take, data is of extreme importance. All of these three aspects can be solved very easily using automation and AI. I mean, the technology is out there. It's up to us to help our customers adopt and use this technology and make it a better place for patients and doctors. And at the end of it, there's incentives for everyone, right? I think it behooves all of our healthcare professionals, doctors, patients, administrators, payers, providers, all of the stakeholders to adopt this technology and improve the patient experience.
Thank you, PK, for that. Wonderful summarization of the key points out there. Let me just kind of shift gear a little bit on specifics. So, Supantha, if you are to suggest a specific architecture, I know that as a CIO, you have been advising your organizations to adopt certain technology, and now in your firm, advising organizations, you are doing that. If you have to stipulate or suggest a particular technology set that is actually currently highly used or could be used by these companies, what would that look like? And could you just give us some examples, Subandha?
Yeah. So any automation technology, call it UiPath or the similar type of technologies, or AI, or any intelligent automation technologies can really do wonders in terms of improving the patient experience, in terms of improving the patient outcome or clinical outcome, and also drive effectiveness and efficiency at the practices. But at the same time, what is important today, while we are thinking about the technology implementation, some of the fundamentals are core to driving automation and be successful with automating processes and systems. Three things comes to my mind. First is data quality and interoperability. Second is infrastructure limitations. Many being a CIO at multiple different organizations, healthcare and others, I have seen there are challenges with infrastructure. And then finally, the third thing is, of course, the cost concern. So the first one, let me double click a little bit about the data quality and interoperability. In healthcare, data is often fragmented, stored in different types of formats, spread across multiple different systems. So ensuring the data quality and seamless interoperability between systems is really crucial. And technologies such as UiPath or any AI technologies, generative AI including, can help streamline the ETL processes. ETL stands for extraction, transformation, load. And it can also integrate different EMR systems, so you have consistent data flow. Then the second point that I was mentioning was infrastructure limitations. Legacy systems, healthcare often are an amalgamation of multiple different brands into one. And so there are network constraints, there are scalability issues that can hinder automation adoption. But at the same time, UiPath, for example, has a scalable architecture that can allow organizations to automate processes across different distributed environment. And as long as you have the right data in a centralized location, so does any AI technologies, including generative AI today. It works, both of these type of technologies would work in an on-premise environment as well as cloud infrastructure environment. And then finally, the third point I was going to highlight is, of course, the concerns with cost. In general, when you are trying to implement an automation, usually it used to be very expensive. It is still expensive, but at the same time, you want to do proof of concept and have a limited scope and see the ROI and try to expand from there on. Technologies such as UiPath can do wonders for you. You can drive rapid ROI, you can show efficiency improvement, and those can justify future investment into reducing manual effort, minimizing errors, and accelerate processes.
Brilliant. Thank you, Supantha. Wonderful summary there. About the data quality, having the right data structures, having the right infrastructure and a scalable architecture, very key to success of these implementations. So, Javed, I've been asked to throw a curveball. I'm going to throw the curveball at you. What happened to Olive AI? I know that they came up with a lot of promise for this sector to do a lot of automations. Why did they fail? And what do you think is a good alternative?
So, I would say, so first of all, when we are talking about healthcare, we know that we are talking about one of the complex business segment, as well as we are having so many compliance and regulation in this way. We are having so many different complex systems here, and the processes again are very complex, as we mentioned recently, that prior authorization, your patient onboarding, your claim submission, claim preparation. These are very complex processes. And also we are having bunch of documents involved there. So whenever we need to get an approval for any authorization, we need to properly aggregate all the documents which will tell about the medical necessity of a patient. And when we are talking about Olive AI, we have seen some of the promises were given there. So let's say automated prior authorization, or having automated some of the processes which are complex in nature, and we need human in the loop. And that's why when we are talking about UiPath and our capabilities, we are bringing different I would say components. So we are having attended automation, unattended automation. We are having apps interfaces to aggregate information. We are having human in the loop, IDPs to extract the information from the document. So again, we are talking about automation and healthcare, but there are processes where the decision making still need to be with a respective persona. It can be a nurse, it can be a medical director, sometimes it can be a care coordinator, or any specific type of persona which need to take a decision. So the robots are there to help them to aggregate the information so that their decision making would be faster. So medical coding is an example. If we are not taking the right decision here, we are giving two type of impact here. One is we are directly impacting the health or the quality of the care which is going to be provided to the patient, as well as we are impacting the revenue of a provider. So when we are not submitting a claim perfectly with errors in the coding, that means we are going into denials, and we are creating a recycle for a patient, or for a claim, or rework for the complete claim submission as well as payment of that claim. And these were some of the reasons where they the promise were not properly executed or provided as an output. And so healthcare is a complex area. We are having so many I would say regulation and compliance. So we need to design the solution, automation solution, intelligent automation solution, in a way that the respective decision making would be of a respective personas here.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I think Javed, you covered a lot of good points there, and took my question head on. I know you are not prepared for this questions, but you actually summed up a very, very nice answer there. So what you really called there is that it's just not technology. It's just not one type of technology that can solve that problem. You need to have variety of technology infrastructure, like you talked about the attended, which is more like a human-led automation, unattended, which is the back-end, unattended kind of automation stuff, and as well as there needs to be certain stops for human to participate within that automation. I think you get it really where you touch there is just that there's no magic bullet for this problem. It needs to be really thought through and well implemented. I think now, PK, up to you. Like, does this call for what type of providers can solve this problem? It look like there's a lot of element of software, but there's an element of work. So how do you think this could be bridged?
Great question, Mahesh. And you brought up the example of Olive. My personal view is that one of the reasons why a company like Olive failed is because they had great technology, right? But they probably didn't have sufficient domain knowledge, right? So, and that's where exactly, companies like qBotica working with UiPath can solve the complex puzzle, which is healthcare, right? UiPath has a great technology platform. qBotica has wonderful healthcare experience and implementation experience. So a partnership like that can do wonders in the world of healthcare. It's a totally unexplored field. Lot of things to be done there, and we can put our minds together and solve many complex challenges.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think PK, you brought up a very nice point there. I think specialty providers and boutique providers like us, who understands implementing this technology and only implementing this technology, combining that with market leaders like UiPath, bringing those together really makes a difference. So one final question, and then we'll wrap up this session. So Supantha, so does this call for an automation as a service category? Do you think that technology partners or qBotica, or even UiPath, do they have to combine software with service for the best implementation experience?
I agree. It is of course technology is a means to end to get to an outcome, right? So a lot has to be thought through in terms of change management, in terms of adoption, and how do you think through truly to make an impact to people's lives? Start there, work backward, pick up the right technologies, right tools, and hopefully you will choose all of us or a combination of us, and we can help you think through what this solution would look like. And at the same time, I would say that the with the advent of technologies and the emergence of newer technologies, the opportunities that you can drive in your practices, in your businesses, really your imagination truly is going to be limiting that. I do see technologies such as AI, machine learning, telehealth, remote monitoring, robotics, process automation. I do see 3D printing, etc. Will really do wonders to the industry. And the technologies that we so far talked about can, if they are applied truly and thoughtfully to focus on patient outcome, would really make a meaningful impact to move the needle for your business.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you, Supantha, Javed, and PK for your inputs. What a fantastic session. Just to kind of really summarize, I think the quality of care and the revenue of the providers, which are actually on the opposite spectrum, but if both are met, that's an ideal scenario that patients are happy with the quality of care, the providers are happy with their revenues. That's actually a fantastic position to be in. Either more money needs to flow through the system, or there needs to be all those excesses, all those inefficiencies in the system needs to be squeezed so that money can flow through, which is kind of currently hung in some inefficient processes. What an outcome that we are discussing here. And this actually, for those mid-tier service providers, for the specialty providers, having those point solutions, having those specific automations developed for them can make a difference. And they don't have to spend millions of dollars to kind of implement that type of technology. I think with the current advent of Gen AI and others, obviously, and every one of them is actually coming up with the protections from a data privacy standpoint and what are those regulations from a HIPAA consideration standpoint. I think while that's all being done, I think every provider of all sizes can actually adopt technology seamlessly. And I am very happy to be in this mission together with UiPath, qBotica, UiPath, and I'm sure with other strategic partners like technology partners across the board. I think together we can actually solve problems across the board within the healthcare. So thank you, everyone, today for participating, and thank you for all of those that are watching and listening to this. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Mahesh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.